Cosmos?
Well,
Are we talking about some McCabe?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Pete started that one. This record, we wanted every song to start with a riff, like a metal riff. And that one, I think he was more a Yardbirds kind of riff.
Oh, cool.
That Page Beck era. He mentioned that it reminded him of more, when it finally got recorded, that it felt more like The Damned. Keep trying to come up, imagine vocal parts for it, and I'm trying it, but I'm not a bluesy guy. So the Yardbirds thing didn't work, and I just ended up doing that, which is basically my impersonation of Dave Vanian. And but everyone says it sounds more like Iggy.
Nothing wrong with that.
Those are all good
rock
references.
legend.
Yeah.
The video was interesting too. So you guys use like AI, bits and bobs. Did you like record you guys performing first? Or?
Yeah. We had our friend Justin Lowe get a bunch of clips of us in front of our psych green screen that we have, and then feed that into the AI with some prompts.
Our first idea was to make the video look like Boys and Girls, the Blur video.
Oh, sure.
So we just shot us as you would, and he was doing the kind of handheld, slight moves that they do in that video. And he had some really cool background footage that he had edited together. And then he called me up and said, hey man, my super film dork buddy has the newest, like it just came out this week, AI program. Do you want to do that instead and just see? Yeah, what could that be? So he did, and that's a good chunk of that is what came out.
Yeah, what were some of the prompts you used?
Well, I definitely had him put Dave Vanian or The Damned or something in there. So that led to a lot of vampire-y looking through. Why is it a dance party with slightly creepy, smoking hot aliens?
Militant aliens, yeah.
And then a bunch of men in Evo helmets come in on little 60s Japanese motorcycles. I mean, where did this all come from? So it's the mind of AI. And it was interesting as hell because if you try to steer AI, it'll misbehave. If you try to steer it too much, it'll turn it into like a
pervy or scary
horror film. Yeah.
Pervy or scary, yeah. I mean, that bodes well for the future, right?
Don't kick the robots.
It's cute when it's that, but if it's the global economy of Earth,
Sure.
and it decides to be a snotty little brat, it could kill everybody.
Yeah.
It could just destroy humanity.
Oh.
So I think AI is, the doom and gloomers that you're gonna put filmmakers out of work. It's like, or I'm gonna put filmmakers in work.
I liken it to synthesizers didn't actually put horn players out of work. Everyone's like, oh great, there's no more trumpet players now, there's just a sample for it. And I'm like, that's not actually what ended up happening, so I kind of see it similar.
Yeah, it's what it is. We're not going to not progress as a species, and we might create our own doom. I think we all understand.
I think we're doing a great job of that. One way or another.
Yeah. So, but it's fun to work with. It's a hell of a tool. It makes it possible for us to have what would have in the late '90s been a $20 million plus video, and it cost just whatever this guy did. Give him some money, take him out to lunch.
There's lots of different ways that people come to bands, and now it's so different. I thought you guys thinking about it too much, or you just having fun with it?
Our job is just to make music and art. That's our job. However many people get on board with what we're creating is very hard to predict or manage. So we just keep putting stuff out there and hope that people catch on and get some cool publicists once in a while to help get the word out.
Yeah, we're using this gap between labels to throw some money at PR and find out what works and what moves the needle, if they say that.
Yeah, it's a really tough industry to figure out what works, and what was a waste of money and what works for one album or one campaign of some sort And then you go, cool, we've got a system, let's wait for the next one. And you're like, why isn't it working? So it's
Yeah.
so much trial and error and experimentation and low expectations on returns for stuff.
Yeah, people say, you don't bother with radio. Radio is dead. But we're finding that it's not.
Like college radio or like
College radio.
I listen to a lot of
NPR
local public radio, I think is
non-commercial, or even commercial stations still have their cool late night shows.
well, and they've got to put a few songs between their ads.
What do you think cool is? Can you define it? Do you think it's individual? Do you think it's defined by groups of people? What is
Well,
cool?
I can tell you when that word happened to me in my life, because I was about 5 years old, and music was just a thing. It was just like it was like a kind of fruit that I did not find to be very delicious, or a vegetable or something. It was just a thing that was in the world. And then I heard Killer Queen. And I remember exactly the moment that happened. And there were adults in the house, standing, talking, and why are they still talking? That was what was stuck in my head for my entire life, is that why are they still talking? And I went over and I just sat next to the stereo and listened to this thing. I would sneak out of bed, once the door was shut and the lights were off, go over to my little radio in my room and just turn that knob and know that for sure that's going to happen again. That song is going to happen again. I think it must have been a year or something, when Radar Love came on. And that was the same to me. That was very similar. That's what, to me, cool was how I felt when these two songs were on. That feeling, this must be what it feels like. That's what it sounds like to be cool, and that's what you feel like. That's what cool is.
To add to the definition of cool, I think there's a huge difference between obviously what's cool and what's trendy. And I think that the trend is when people are copying cool enough times for it to be really visible on mass. But personally, if I feel cool, it's because I've done a really good job of authentically, honestly, visually, or through music expressing myself. So it's, for me.
The finer points.
Yeah,
of
and you're
yourself.
like, oh, I'm being totally honest on the outside. The outside is in line with the inside, and that looks cool. And that could be a million different versions. But I can look at someone and go, that wouldn't be cool for me. But I can tell that they're totally living in their authentic expression and finding a cool, creative way to show it.
How do you make it artistically fulfilling to play the same songs, multiple times? You guys are in these tracks.
They don't feel the same.
They're different every
The room is
time.
different, our amount of sleep is different, what we ate is different, the lighting is different, the audience is different, our old gear makes up new ways to sound every day. So with all of that unpredictability comes the opportunity to constantly reinvent nuances inside of the song. So, I don't know how bands do it, that they sound exactly like the record every night. That sounds like a big old snooze fest to become that predictable and that precise. I like the wild ride that we live on from day to day to recreate these tracks.
Oh yeah, even at sound check, it's
From sound check to show.
a way different song.
wow.
Yeah. So every day you think you know what is about to happen, and
Also smoke a shit ton of weed.
keep.
Will make everything different.
What do you call it? The great unlearning.
The
Yeah.
great unlearning, I love
The
that.
great unlearning
It's
device.
such a way to cope if you start to feel overwhelmed. You go, that's okay. I just unlearned everything. I'm gonna relearn it again just as fast. It's just a moment.
Yeah, you reorder priorities in your mind, because you just kind of unlearn shit and you go, why am I stressed about that? That is like a week from next Tuesday. And it requires no prior planning. God, I was letting that crush my day.